Hey everybody, what is going on? It's your boy Izlo33, welcome back to another episode of T to the F to the T time. Now, this gameplay was actually pre-recorded. Yeah. And I do pretty decently here. It's a 4th place finish, so I'm gonna spoil the ending here. But, you know, I've not been enjoying ranked TFT recently. It's not been fun. And yeah, we're getting into a game here, and I'm just going to talk through it all as it happens. I don't really care. I am watching EG vs FlyQuest right now, making my Anarchy analysis notes for tomorrow before the final, which this video is going to come up before, hopefully. Yeah, as you can see, I'm rolling with the new little legend, the Moldiver Legendary Tier 2, the highest rank one. I'm currently on part 29 of the TFT Pass Plus, and yeah. Anyway, I don't know what I'm realistically wanting to play here. I think I go Cybernetics in the end. I don't remember the actual game as a whole, but you know, it's me. When do I ever know what happens? But anyway, we get a Leona and 2 Caitlins offered to us in our shop, and what I'm saying here is, if we get enough coins, like a coin drop happens here in this wave, I'm gonna quickly grab the coins and then buy the Caitlin, so that we at least have a level 2 going into the first player wave. Now we get an item drop of the BF sword, which is obviously great. I do manage to pick up the Caitlin before the end of the wave, and yeah, I did accidentally lock our shop to actually get it, but who cares? You know, it's worthwhile. But I'm now thinking, what do I do with that tier and this BF sword? Like, I know I can make Spirisogen for the Aurelia to just go Madman style onto enemies, but I think it's better to save it for a GA on the Aurelia, because it's sort of her power spike in terms of the fact that it's a very good item. And what we end up getting is our second good item, which is a needlessly large rod, and because the Caitlyn was our starting champion with the recurve bow on her, we pick her up and make a Rage Blade. So yeah, that is very, very good for a starting part of this team comp. Now, I want to discuss this right now. I'm planning, or for one time, I might edit these videos properly other than just sticking an intro and outro on it. I might cut the wait time between rounds down if I'm not realistically talking about anything, just to make sure these videos actually flow better, as we come against our first opponent here that does have an infiltrator, but the one thing that he's having to deal with is our Caitlyn, who does a massive amount of damage, and she's just able to kill the Kaiser with an ace in the hole one shot, and then Xin Zhao's just gonna die to the repeated increasing attack speed on our Caitlyn. Now we do manage to pick up a level 2 Leona here, which is great for us. We can also buy the XP to hit level 4, and because we had a Kha'Zix on the bench, because I was planning maybe going for Mecha Infiltrators, we just kept it there. And honestly, I'm unsure of how I realistically could mess up the play this game, because I very rarely mess up my play. The only time I realistically do is when I have to hard eco in order to find a champion. Like, I save up 50 coins and I'm having to just press that refresh button constantly in order to try and find, say, a Aurelia or a Kale in order to actually live. Now this wave, it's Kha'Zix versus Kha'Zix, and the funny thing is, I was hoping that our Kha'Zix would execute their Kha'Zix, because their Kha'Zix executed our Caitlyn. But what ends up happening is we win the wave. We're winning 2 out of our 3 so far. And I pick up the Mordekaiser just because it's a slightly stronger Vanguard in terms of the fact that Poppy's shield isn't as big, and Mordekaiser's shield is big, and it also gives damage off, like AoE damage, which is something this team comp is realistically lacking right now, is a bit of AoE. So we pick him up, he slides in quite nicely, and we'll go with what we've got. Excuse me. Anyway, we come here against a Protectors team, Chrono Protectors I should say, having the Caitlyn and TF giving the Chrono buff. I wonder if that word actually gets demonetized on YouTube actually, for sounding so much like the pandemic that was going around. Anyway, we come into the carousel, the Lagacel as I like to call it. One champion here that realistically stands out to me, Lucian. I really want it. BF sword, very, very strong. There's also a Sona I want. Obviously, we're going to get released last because we're top of the leaderboard because we won all 3 rounds. But we'll either get the Lucian or the Sona. And the good thing for us here is both options are there. So we'll go for the Lucian because that's a straight cybernetics pickup and we can work with that. And yeah, it's also got a damage source on it. And Lucian with damage is very, very good, and he can carry you through early game to the latter part of the game. As we pick up a Shen, that is actually huge because we can get Chrono on the board. Because we have the Sniper Caitlyn, I can also replace the Ziggs that we just have on our bench, and I'm going to sell them here sooner or later as we pick up our second Mord. And I'm now thinking, how do we make this better? Well, obviously, what champions are we missing? Well, we haven't got our Fiora on the board. She's only level 1. We've got our Lucian, finally. He's on the board. Leona's chilling, no item light, but she's fine. We've got our Mordekaiser, who's dead now. Shen's doing work now because he's popped his ult. Probably should move him realistically into the position of where our Mord is, so that he's actually in the middle of the 2 frontliners, and it maximizes the damage. Anyway, this round's actually really close, because that Sona is actually healing considerably, obviously using the Seraph's Embrace and the Elixir thing, that in a sense, granted the Elixir would be better on a champion next to her, like the Ziggs, but hey. Sona ulting multiple times is great. And making it so that her entire team actually does that is even better, especially in a Rebel comp. You don't actually realise how powerful that is because they are all clumped together. So making it so that the champions that are all clumped together, if they get dove by mech infiltrators, obviously mech infiltrators you don't realistically have to move to because they'll move on you. So yeah, that is actually a pretty nice setup actually, thinking about it. Anyway, we come up here against some Protectors, Space Pirate Protectors, comp that I'm seeing more and more of recently. You have a Darius that's just able to jump around. He doesn't kill off our Mordekaiser, but because of the numbers advantage that they've gained from the execute onto one of the targets, it does mean that we're losing that round. Anyway, we position over 4 Krugs, we sell the Ziggs, I do believe, we pick up the Mordekaiser to level 2, and yeah. I missed a team fight. But as I said, I'm watching the EG versus FlyQuest losers final. This is the I do believe 3rd game where FlyQuest are leading 2-0. And here's the thing, I'm not doing an anarchy analysis for this game. I said I'm doing it for the finals. And well, this game's actually looked incredible from FlyQuest. And I remember I predicted a 3-2 to EG, so I've got one of the scores correct so far in the 2. Whether or not EG win, as they're winning this game with 5 kills to 1, as we pick up for ourselves in the actual game our Wukong, which actually comes quite early. We also have on our bench a Sparring Glove, a Tear, and a BF Sword. We've obviously got that Sparring Glove from the wave. I'm going to move our Caitlyn over back into position. I'm selling the Mordekaiser now because we've already got our Vanguards on the board. And you know, I'm also giving the IE over to Lucian because Lucian with IE is very, very strong. He'll do a lot of damage for us, and I don't know if he's the level 2 or not. He looks it. I wasn't realistically paying attention to what I'm doing right now in the game, but this wave's very close because it's Star Guardians, and I was going to try out Star Guardians for a game, but I instead went to Cybernetics in my most recent match online. Because you just essentially put onto a Syndra, damage item plus Seraph's Embrace, and you can put an Elixir onto a Soroka and a Spirisogen, and that's a lot of spells being choked out. And because of the way the range works with Star Guardians, they don't realistically move that much, so obviously they're going to be gaining mana, and it's very, very nice. Anyway, here we go into our next wave. We've got Shen off the board right now. We're still keeping hold of him. Obviously, I'm going to eventually have to replace the Caitlyn with a Kayle. So having another champion for Chrono is good. Wukong's doing a bit of work here. Even if he is dead, he does a lot of work as we come up against a Darkstar comp. And yeah, we win this round. Caitlyn does a lot of damage with that ace in the hole and wins us that fight. So yeah, we win our second round, we lost the first one, and we'll keep going on with this game. Now we pick up our second Wukong and an Ezreal to boot, and this is actually really, really quick in terms of building up a Wukong, because I'm not used to it this early of a game Wukong in a Cybernetics comp. I'm usually having to wait to actually get it in, but getting him in early is actually a great bonus because it means that I can actually transition a bit more easily in terms of the fact that I have a Shen on my bench who can give me Blade Master. I've got waiting on a Kayle to replace the Caitlyn. We've got the Ezreal as well, who's there to wait for replacement of Caitlyn. Essentially, this team comp comes online once we pick up the Kayle, because that means that I can just replace the Caitlyn, or getting Ezreal to level 2 where I can replace him with her. And there's a Wukong here, there's a Kayle here, that are big options, and here's the thing, Kayle goes immediately. The Wukong does have an item that we could take. Obviously, I would like, but we're not going to get it. So, we're having to take the next best thing, the Leona, who's got a quick draw on her, which is nice. It does mean that she's not going to be CC locked on the first cast. It's very, very nice on a actual frontlaner, because it means that they're able to get off their ult, which means they're going to tank more damage, a bit more useful in, like, if she's coming up against Wukongs or Fioras or Rakans, and I know there'll be Rakans, it's a very, very nice tool to have, to say the least. So yes, it does mean that it's sitting on the bench for now, but once we pick up a second Leona, or another Leona, it'll be our second level 2 Leona. She can replace the one that's on the board currently, and actually have a lot more use. Now, I'm going to revert back to talking about esports right now. And as I said, I'm watching the EG FlyQuest game right now. What I watched earlier today, because isolation and stuff, quarantine and lockdown in the UK, essentially, wow, that bullet just got eaten by the Wukong, but essentially what happened today was G2 versus FlyQuest, the rematch, and I predicted a 3-1 to G2, and guess what? Actually was. As we actually hit up to level, as we actually sell our Caitlyn here, that's a big play. I actually got quite lucky there in terms of the fact that I sell the Caitlyn and actually getting my rerolled shop and Ezreal, giving me a level 2 Ezreal, which actually was wonderful for me because our replacement is very, very good. He does a lot of work. And yeah, this team comp right now is in a sturdy amount of damage position because Blasters is online. We do actually lock up the Sona here, but obviously we're still going to lose because we don't have that good of a front line. We only have 2 champions in it. We still haven't gotten a Vi. We're just seeing a lot of 1 and 2 cost champions, and me being me, I taunt this guy. I just flashed the Sona because I'm an arsehole. And yeah, this is the part of the game where who knows what happens as we hit infiltrators. We just reposition everything back to where they need to be. I kind of mess up my Leona position there. Well, both Leona's positioning, and I move them back anyway. But yeah, you see, this wave should give us some items. We're obviously wanting a BF sword. We're obviously wanting a chain vest in order to make our GA. And yeah, a GA is a GA. And we don't get it. Actually, no, we do get it. We get our GA. We also get 2 random champions on our bench, and we sell them on. We get for ourselves another chain vest. We'll replace our Leonas. Positioning again. And 71 coins means that I can press that button a few times. We level up our Leona. Level 2, meaning that we have our permanent level 2 Leona on the board. We press that reroll button a few times. We get a Fiora, which is nice. Obviously, we still have a base level Fiora. We also get 2 Vi's because we go rolling a bit harder, dropping below the 50 mark. I'm also using the Annie here to basically put an item onto and then reroll. I'm also sliding an item onto our Leona to make a Frozen Heart because she is a frontliner. She should tank up a lot of damage. Now, you're wondering why didn't I put it on a Wukong? Well, ideally we want Wukong to spin through the entire team. Leona's going to be dealing with the front line, and stalling out the front line is kind of the goal here, so that they're not doing as much, because you think about infiltrators, where are they going to go? They're going to jump over you, so you can't exactly stop them. Wukong spins. Once he hits you, he moves away, and the attack speed decrease just goes. It's not a good target to put it on, as we level up a Vi here into our team comp, and what you see here, I've actually cashed out to 11. I cash out a bit more, get my first KO, and now it's go time with this team comp. I do believe, I hope I do, I replace the no item Leona with the KO. I hope I do that here. That's what my mind's telling me right now to do, as we come up against our own KO and a guy going for the exact same team comp with us. The only difference is we win because we have the stronger champions currently on the board and we're higher level. We cashed out for our level. And yeah, this is the part where I think, okay, replace Leona. Yes, good boy. Move Kale back down there, put the Rage Blade onto Kale. Now, in hindsight, I'd probably at this point put onto Kale the GA. Because we haven't gotten Aurelia yet. We know there is someone going for the same build as me. Why not put it onto Kale to ensure she's maximizing damage? Because she is kind of our main carry. And we realistically are looking for champions to live long. And coming up against these Star Guardians here, yeah, the Syndra just bursts out our Kale instantly, so she's not able to do much. And it's why we obviously need to look at that build. That Syndra's got Death Cap, Luna's Echo, and a Chalice. You've put that all clumped together. Now, yeah, that's good, you clump it all together, it's hard to get on top of. But, and because I'm thinking here, MF ult. That's why you don't put it all together. Now, this carousel, there's a couple of good options here. There's Kale, there's Wukong, there's also an Echo. And it being me, I want Echo. So I go take Echo, means that we only need an Aurelia now in order to have all cybernetics and have the max buff, which in my last game I didn't manage because Echo never popped. That's my sort of luck. But you know, it's kind of what we need here. And we're obviously now saving up our eco as an Aurelia finally pops for us. I'm also replacing the Kale with our Aurelia because she's slightly stronger. I'm also replacing the Ezreal with a Echo and giving the Echo the death cap. I think it's slightly better because now we have cybernetics maxed. We're level 7, meaning 8 and 9 we've already got the champions to replace on the board with. We've got the Ezreal, we've got the Kale. Kale should take more priority over Ezreal in terms of putting them on the board, as Lucian's going to get hooked here. But who cares? What we're going to see is, hopefully, a very powerful Vile, which it is, as she dies. And we're going to absolutely decimate this respawning Ashe. And yeah, we win our first wave back after the carousel with our altered cybernetics team, where we've just gone basically balls deep into cybernetics in terms of getting the max buff online, rolling with it, and hoping that no one kills us. So you may ask, what are we doing now? Well, we kind of have to save eco right now. Build up our level in our team as we level up our Wukong. Save the eco, only pick up any champion that we've got on the board or our bench, and go with that. We're just chilling realistically. The only champion that we're close to hitting level 3 with is Leona. We'll chill with her. She can be do or die if we hit level 3. It doesn't realistically matter, but it can also make a massive difference in terms of how much health we lose. Anyway, we come up here against some protectors. Kind of standard build. You see a lot of these. It's Celestial Protect as well, because you've got the Xayah, you've got the Ashe. One thing I didn't know that happened still during the Echo War is Wukong. That's something new that I just learned. Anyway, we win that round quite easily. Echo did a lot of damage with that death cap. And so, Infiltrators time. No, this isn't Infiltrators, this is Arc Raptors. What am I on about? I'm talking out me arse. But yeah, we're saving up our eco. We're at 23 right now. Very strong. Obviously, we were below 20 last round. So we're building it up as the rounds go on. We should get above 30 after this wave, hopefully. Giving you the option. You should do. Vi's going to kill off one of these Arc Raptors. Wukong's going to spin off and kill the other. And we're going to pick up these items here. Get a load of coins. And we have got a Hand of Justice on our bench. Sparring Glove and a Tier. Now, this being me, I'm thinking, okay, do we make it a Hand of Justice and slide down to a KO? Or do we give our Fiora an item? Do we give our Vi an item? And well, it being me, I do the smart thing. Vi gets Tier, Sparring Glove goes on Fiora. We're maximizing the cybernetics damage. All our cybernetic champions have got an item now, meaning that we're very, very strong. We've buffed up our team since the Arc Raptors wave in terms of actual damage and health, but we haven't obviously got any more champions board. We come up against Darius. That's the annoying thing with certain team comps right now is you can build such a strong team with just 2 and 3 cost champions like a Darius, like a Jace, like a Xin Zhao and Rakan. They're all very strong for very cheap characters, and it's kind of hard to deal with. Now, this wave we're actually going to get slightly lucky that Lucian's able to survive that Darius dunk. And one thing to note, what I'm thinking would be a very good build right now for TFT, on a Darius that is. You go Hand of Justice, Death Blade, yeah, you can see where that's going. Deathblade for your damage, Hand of Justice for your more damage or heals, and then maybe a Gunblade or Bloodthirster third, or even GA. You've got good options there. But Deathblade on a Darius is something you don't realistically see that much. And it would be such a good idea. Yeah, it is a waste of 2 BF swords on most of the targets. Like, it's only realistically a good item on blasters, it's only realistically a good item on certain other things. And one thing to note is I am lagging right now, so I have to apologise for that. It's like we actually do win out because we have that GA, and this guy doesn't die. We are set in second. He is on literally 3 health. I can't tell what it says in the bottom of my screen because, if you don't know, I'm actually recording the audio from my editing suite, and this is where I do most of my anarchy analysis audio, because it's so much easier to do. It means that I don't have to do as much work, and because I'm doing this in the editing suite, I can just click straight export, and that's it, done. Over and done with. Easy peasy, just like that. And the even better bit is I can know how long I have to talk for. Because right now we're at 26 minutes into this video. Yeah. You can start to see why I don't realistically do much of this. And yeah, this wave is Star Guardians, obviously. The issue for us is we can't get on top of that Syndra. And because that Syndra pretty much instacasts like every 3 autos, it means that we're not able to kill her off. And essentially, because the Syndra is going to cast so many ults, that the more orbs that appear, it means that she's going to do more and more damage every time she casts, and because it's pretty much an instacast, she's going to be killing you off from the bat. Especially if it hits squishy. So, realistically, what I should have built is probably Mystic, but what Mystic would you go? It would kind of have to be, because of the actual champions that are in play, Karma and Lulu. Like, I'd replace the Chrono for Mystic, because that would be slightly stronger. Yeah, you're losing out on Chrono, you're losing out on Vanguard, and you're losing out on Blaster, but you're gaining Mystic to have a bit of magic resist on all your champions, which would be great. A Dragon Claw is also a good item, but yeah, who cares? We're still building a Pico. We do hit level 8. What did I put on the board for level 8? Oh, I think I put the Ezreal back on the board, so we actually do have Blaster. I didn't put the Kale on, which is a surprise. One thing to note is that's a double Gangplank ult that just hit us there. I don't know whether that was because I echoed it or because it just is. But hey ho. We do pretty good that game. We actually win that round. We're on a decent tear of things, to say the least. We're sitting quite healthily in second. Granted, once we hit stage 6, we're literally losing 12 HP a round. So we're probably going to be dying quite quickly. Now, right now, I'm coming up against a Chrono Sniper? Yeah. Chrono Sniper with Blaster, I don't know what this thing combo is. It's Chrono with a load of random stuff. I'm presuming he's got the Kassadin because he wants to go for Thresh for Mana Reaver, because obviously Mana Reaver now isn't just a 2 and then 4 champs, it's just a pure 2 buff. As we pick up our Echo, very, very good for us. Obviously we can use that to build our level 2 Echo, which is a lot more damage. But yeah, right now we're actually chilling quite nicely as we get an item that would be very, very good on our Kale. If we had Valkyrie, obviously. Anyway, Jin's gonna get almost popped here. We're gonna do a lot of damage. And yeah. We'll pick up the coins. We're at 39 coins right now. Which means we're obviously going above 40 here. Meaning we're in a very, very nice spot. Because we're almost at that point in the game where we can actually just cash out, chill, relax, enjoy everything. And the good thing for me is I actually see the ending bar for this video. It's actually coming quite soon because there's literally only 5 people left in the game. One of them's on very low health. You can start to see what happens here. But I do believe we lose these next 2 rounds. Or we should do. As we come up against a guy that has got a very strong team. Lucian's doing work. He gets the 2 rando crits that absolutely decimate this guy. Rally is doing work that you don't realistically pay attention to. And that's the Kale basically killing us. Yeah. The only one to do damage that round was Aurelia for us, and we're down at 20. We went from 32 to 20. Yeah. Either way, who cares? We're in top 4. And at this point, I just cash out, get Kale on the board, get Blade Master online, and we have our full team comp. The only issue is we don't have level 2 Kale, we don't have level 2 Aurelia, we don't even have level 2 Echo right now. But we do have a second Kale on our bench. We have our second Echo on our bench. But we don't have our second Aurelia. Who's been carrying us quite far in the game as we come up against the Star Guardian team comp that's been destroying us most of the game. We essentially, the goal of this is to kill that Syndra as soon as possible, but we lose instantly and we're dead. Yeah. That's how quickly we lose this, but that's going to be it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new around here if you want to. And I will see you guys later. Obviously, I don't have that much to say, but peace out.